A recent study from Euromonitor says that consumers look for alternatives to red meat due to a growing awareness of the health problem associated with excessive consumption. The most important factor driving frozen and chilled fish and seafood are the health benefits. Other success factors are product innovation and innovating packaging. So, as we said before, be innovative in your packaging. That's really demand. In Europe and North America, more and more consumers favor seafood-based ready meals. That's also a big trend. Chilled fish will continue to dominate the sector, growth driven by consumer perception of freshness. And frozen processed fish seafood remains the leading type of frozen food in China because fresh seafood is not widely available in the country due to the cold chain. And domestic players, a growing number of private labels, determine the global frozen processed fish and seafood market. So, here are the trends of the packaging from this study, and you receive that from 2005 to 2010. You have the worst scenario is the full, and the best scenario is stripped, but in the both situation, you have a very high increase of the demand of pre-packed products in fish and seafood. The chilled product will stay to the same level globally. So the trend is to a stagnation of the market, but that's not a stagnation of the idea, and there is a transformation, and as on every stagnating market, you have to be more and more attractive to sell your product. So you have more and more to think about the way you can be the leader or taking a good place in this market. Frozen processed fish will grow up, particularly, of course, in Asia, where you have more and more demand. And so, as you can see, there is still a very big place for frozen food in the future, in the seafood business. And canned product, that's a surprise, but canned, which is sometimes a little bit critical, and say it's not fresh product, it does not bring that. But anyway, there are still an increase of the seller in canned products, so that's also something you have to take in consideration. Just to show you what are the trends in a market like France, you see that the demand in fresh product is more and more oriented on seafood delicatessen, but you have some leader products which are going through a big expansion with two figures. You have surimi, which grew up in 2004 from 11.5%. The ready meal grows up from 10%. And salad of the sea, that's a form of snacking, 21.6%, and pre-cooked or uncooked fish, 21.6%. So there is a real increase in demand in this business of catering in the market. What the packaging bring to you or to your distributor or to the customer, you have, of course, a longer period of storage, several days in vacuum pack or MAP. A less handling of product, no direct contact with product, guarantee cleanness, which is give advantage for the distributor and very interesting for the consumer. Storage of product with optimal freshness, which is good for everybody in the whole chain. You reduce drastically the microbiological damage, so that's good for your product, for your margin, but also for the consumer in his fridge. You have protection against physical damage, packaging avoid desiccation, drying out, so loss of product. It's given also in protection against perforation, fish bones, due to the gas flushing. No contamination possible since product is protected in airtight packaging, so you have no cross-contamination between the product. And protection against chemical damage, no oxidation of the vitamin, flavors and fats are conserved by height elimination of the oxygen. In the presentation of the product, you have, of course, no deformation or loss of product, and that's a real economic advantage. The product hygiene and removal of unpleasant smells, that's very, very good for the distributor mainly. Practical product, easy to open, simple to use and to cook, that's a real demand of the consumer. Expansion in variety of fish, in fish world than due to a longer use by date. And communication of brand, thanks to printing, the possibility of labeling and things like that, makes the information and traceability, and also puts the recipes. So that's also bringing advantage to the whole player of the chain. In logistics, of course, packaging makes easy to transport with stackable trays. That simplifies the logistic due to the longer shelf life. That eliminates the effect of the contamination inside of the fridge or of the lorries. The traceability of the products is good for the consumer, and you have less labor in the fish sector. That's good for the distributor because you have no to wash, to clean, to maintain the shell like you have to do when we have ice. So, worldwide you can see that there is a real trend. You have some pictures from Japan, from France, from United Kingdom, Germany, and you see that everywhere the trend is more and more to deliver pre-packed product in fish and seafood business. That was for the trend. Let's speak a little bit about shelf life. Something very important to remember that there are some key factors to respect to have a fresh quality and a good conservation of fish products. First, you need a very short time between catching and processing, because any hours longer that you have outside of the sea and before to be packed or processed are probably days of loss of shelf life. Second point is fishing treatment and fishing condition. You must avoid to stress the fish by catching, because if you stress it, you have some immediate effect on the pre-rigor phases, which is going smaller, and you have a lot of toxin inside of the muscle, and then for this reason the shelf life of your product will be drastically reduced. You need, of course, a respect of the cold chain from the beginning, so the point you fish until you eat, with maximum security in that point. You need, of course, high hygienic condition in your factory, and you need also protection against recontamination during all the working phases. And if you respect drastically this point, you will have a longer shelf life and, which is very important for the consumer, a very high quality of your product. Vacuum packaging and MAP are the more used technology to increase the shelf life in fish and seafood. This packaging technology will also assist your marketing strategy by meeting the demand of the consumer and providing attractive and convenient fish and seafood packaging with a real extended shelf life. And in normal hygienic condition, if you work like we said before, using packaging with vacuum or with MAP, mainly with MAP, will increase your shelf life in a proportion from 1 to 2 to 1 to 4, depending, of course, of the kind of product and how it's processed.